This video is solely for entertainment purposes. These are all alleged and are my opinions only. I accept any debates and points of view here. However, please refrain from being rude. Thanks. Did y'all hear? The resilient Jenkins, Stephanie, had her child, and she's beautiful. I'm never going to knock a child because a child never asked to be born into the situation they're born into. So let me preface this by saying that. But I pointed out, and I've seen a lot of people point out a lot of things that are happening in her birthing video. So number one, the biggest thing is that if you want to see her whole birthing video, you have to be subscribed to her, which means you have to be giving her money every single month to subscribe to exclusive content, which this is probably the first exclusive content she's ever posted. She says that the baby actually made her appearance in the car because she wanted to birth at home as long as possible. I'm sure it had nothing to do with the doctors trying to get her on birth control because her living situation isn't up to par to have as many children as she already has, and they're trying to prevent her from having more, to be more in a worse situation than she already is. But hey, you know, who's thinking of that? No one, right? Anyways, she did have the baby in the front seat of the car, and I guess they ended up staying 8 hours in the hospital. Now there's a huge So this is one thing I really think, and this has been a topic of discussion recently, like on all social media platforms, is how young do you allow your child to stay home alone? And I was very surprised to find out that there's no state laws, a lot of places that say that there's a definite age where you can and cannot leave your child alone. But yeah, I guess it depends on the discretion of the parents, and we already know these parents aren't very good ones, just from what we've seen, that they don't want to be controlled by an employer, and they don't want to have jobs to put themselves in better lives along with their children and give them mental clarity, you know that. But also, I was watching her ranting video of an unpopular opinion about her kids going to school. And let me tell you, this woman has the same mentality of her kids going to school than her having a job. Now, instead of telling her kids, oh, you know, school's important and you have to go to school, she's sitting here ranting and raving that kids are too young to be following regimens and having a schedule like school and going to school for 7 or 8 hours a day. Like, excuse me? Kids have been doing this for decades. And the whole reason the school system is a thing is because kids, if they don't have stability, I know Stephanie is totally unaware of this because it sounds like she just wants her kids to run amok, but again, that's my opinion. School gives kids stability, and not only that, it gives them an education. That's why they go to school. Now, I agree the public school system in most areas is trash because there's so many kids and stuff like that. But she's literally saying, oh, there's like 40 kids in a class. And when her kids are at home, there's literally all the kids she has to help, plus take care of a newborn child, plus take care of her husband. It's literally the same thing if she decides to homeschool. She says the only reason her kids are not homeschooled is because of her living situation. And she says the only reason she still has her kids in school is so they can get the social aspect of school. That's just putting a mentality in your kid's brain that school is nothing more than a play date. If you guys seen the video she had posted, she said that she doesn't want them to get into any more trouble. Tells us that she's already gotten in trouble probably with truancy in her area for the kids, because she says when her kids don't want to go to school, she doesn't make them go to school. Now that's very telling because Stephanie only rants and raves about things she's gotten in trouble for. The truancy, the eviction, her baby daddy being a pedo, the whole situation of the one-bedroom apartment where they have the bedroom and the kids live everywhere else but in a secure bedroom. And of course, with jobs. I wouldn't be surprised if she got fired from probably every position she ever held in her life and she started bad-mouthing having a job. It wouldn't surprise me at all. But this family could do so much better for themselves if they both put in the work, or even if the husband just got a little job to at least afford a 2-bedroom home. Nobody would judge them the way they're being judged right now. And their doctor wouldn't be telling them that they shouldn't be having any more kids because of their living situation and what's happening. Because once they're evicted, there's a strong possibility that CPS is going to take their kids. Unless they have another living situation to go to, CPS is not going to allow them to live out of their car. So they better get in real quick, because I'll tell you right now, making people listen, not even see your birth story is ridiculous. And by the way, if you go back to this video's comments, you can find a girl that actually reposted that, so nobody has to pay for it. You're welcome. All right, so this was a comment made about once the resilient Jenkins, or if they end up homeless in this whole situation, right? And I know that not all homeless people get their kids taken away. However, once this is presented to a judge, Stephanie has put everything online. Her and Drew have openly stated that the reason they do not get jobs is, one, because they feel like they're soul sucking, and two, is because Drew owes back pay for child support and he does not want to pay it. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, there's not a judge on this walking earth that is going to look at that and say, oh, I'm so sorry, let's go ahead and give you housing again. They're going to see that as them not taking accountability for their actions and them not being responsible because they're not taking care of their kids. How are they supposed to be taking care of their kids when they refuse to work? They refuse to work. So yes, they're not going to take them home as long as they're putting in the work to better their lives. But they're not doing that. And they've already told the whole internet that, and that's available for the courts to see, because those are words that she has said from her own mouth and his own mouth. So I understand that there's people out there that face certain things where they end up homeless and they then seek help to get in a shelter and their kids aren't taken away because they are working towards something or they're asking for help. At this point, there is no help that's going to be given because they're not even helping themselves.